In a state renowned for its sun, drenched beaches, and its political hurricanes, a quiet, almost paradoxical trance been taking place. While the world watched Florida grapple with rising sea levels and intense storms, an entirely different kind of storm was brewing. A storm of innovation, power, and money. We've all heard the narrative Florida, a state where a certain brand of flat-earth skepticism runs deep, has lagged behind in the global push for renewable energy. But what if that narrative is a lie? What if, beneath the public rhetoric, the state was quietly, and sometimes ruthlessly, becoming energy superpower? The truth is, while we were looking at the headlines, at an empire made of glass, silicon, and steel, an empire of solar power. The story begins in an unassuming place, a community called Babcock Ranch in southwest Florida. This isn't just a suburban neighborhood, it's a living laboratory, built with one goal in mind: to prove that a clean energy model could be both a reality and a financial success. When it was founded in 2006, the idea of a fully solar-powered town was a fringe concept. Natural gas was cheap, and solar was a niche dream. But as the town's founder, Syd Kitson, famously put it, they proved that we could do this the right way. And they did. When Hurricane Ian, a Category 4 monster, slammed the region in 2022, millions of people were plunged into darkness. But at Babcock Ranch, the lights stayed on. Their solar arrays and hardened infrastructure held up, a defiant symbol of a new kind of resilience. This wasn't just a victory for clean energy, it was a terrifyingly practical lesson in survival in an age of climate-fueled catastrophe. Babcock Ranch's success, however, is not an isolated story. It's a far more complex industrial boom across the state. In 2024, Florida quietly overtook California in new utility-scale solar capacity, adding a staggering 3 gigawatts of power. To put that in perspective, that's enough to power around 600,000 homes. This isn't a fluke, it's the result of a deliberate economic calculation. And Florida has a very special legal has helped to accelerate this boom, a special rule that allows solar farms under 75 megawatts to bypass lengthy state-level reviews. This has been a goldmine for major utility companies, who are now aggressively building these solar arrays across the state. But this incredible surge of solar power comes with a price, a series of dark trade-offs and unsettling truths that the headlines often miss. The first is a battle over land, as several discerning viewers have pointed out. While it would seem logical to place solar panels on the flat, sun-drenched roofs of countless shopping malls, grocery stores, and sprawling parking lots, and it could help reduce the urban heat island effect, the reality is far different. Instead of covering existing concrete, many of the utility-scale projects are built on new land, in the middle of nowhere. Entire forests, vital wildlife habitats, and agricultural lands have been massive solar farms. What good is clean energy, some ask, if it comes at the cost of destroying the very ecosystems we are trying to protect? This trade-off between green energy and green space is a dangerous, almost horrifying aspect of Florida's solar boom. The second dark truth is about control. While Florida Power and Light, FPL, the state's main utility, is driving this massive solar expansion, they are simultaneously fighting against residential rooftop solar. You see, when a utility owns the power source, they control the production, the distribution, and the price. When a homeowner puts panels on their roof, they become a competitor, a tiny, independent energy producer. For years, the utility companies have been fighting in a policy called net metering, which compensates how they generate and send back to the grid. In 2022, Florida lawmakers nearly succeeded in killing this policy before a massive public backlash forced a veto. This wasn't a battle over energy, it was a battle over a monopoly. It reveals a chilling reality. Benevolent and basine of clean energy, the age-old human desire for power and control stands supreme. But all of this, the economic boom, the battle over land, the fight for control, it's still only part of the mystery. The truly horrifying aspect of Florida's solar revolution isn't about what's happening today. It's about what it reveals about the very nature of power and how the energy of the future might be used to control you in ways you've never even considered. What if this isn't a revolution at all, but just a very smart, very efficient, and very silent shift of another? The chilling reality is that Florida's journey to the powerhouse has been driven by forces that are entirely separate from the climate debate. As one astute commenter on the original video pointed out, it's peak American irony, climate denial with a tan. The state's legislature, for instance, removed all mentions of climate change in its official energy plans. The growth is not a result of an loss of green energy, it's a cold, hard economic calculation. Solar is simply the cheapest form of new electricity. The horror here is the realization that even a global environmental crisis can be sidestepped and ignored as long as the financial incentives are aligned. The pursuit of profit and efficiency is such a powerful force that it can drive a clean energy transition, even in the absence of a shared belief in the science that makes it necessary. And this is where the truly dangerous aspects come into play. The move toward a more centralized, utility-controlled solar grid creates a new kind of vulnerability. While Babcock Ranch's microgrid and backup systems prove resilient against a hurricane, where a few massive util the vast majority of energy production is also a state with a failure, a coordinated cyber attack, a catastrophic storm that takes out a few key substations. The consequences could be far more devastating, where energy is more decentralized, with millions of individual homes producing their own power. Florida's reliance on large-scale projects, while they also be creating a grid that is more brittle and more susceptible to a large-scale collapse. The very strength of this, its greatest weakness. In the end, Florida's solar revolution is a complex and deeply ironic case study. It is a story of undeniable success and resilience in the face of natural disaster. It is a story of economic innovation that has made clean energy cheaper than fossil fuels. But it is also a story of corporate control, of ecological sacrifice, and all that is driven by profit rather than principle. The mystery isn't how a state with so many barriers became a solar powerhouse. The mystery is what this quiet, ruthless efficiency reveals about the priorities of power and the true cost of progress in a world where money is the most powerful force of all. This is just one of the unravel here at Oddworld Files. We believe in looking beyond the head files. We're looking beyond complex topics into simple, logical explanations that reveal the hidden truths of our world. If you've been intrigued by this journey into the unexpected world of solar power, and you're new here, please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you never miss our deep dive into the extraordinary and logical workings of our world.